We've all seen the heated debates and dramatic walkouts on The View.
They voted. Let me finish.
No, I can't let you finish. If you're going to say Maduro's going to murder his thug, I'm not letting you finish because that's a damn lie. And I've got a bunch of neighbors and friends who know this. Don't do this to me. Don't mansplain. I'm a 47-year-old girl.
You talk about. You talk about.
I am not, Judge.
Nobody
no,
is.
Oh, yeah.
Did you just point at me?
Yeah.
You said.
But you know
you
what's
said
horrible?
that
when
it was.
people who
It's okay.
shouldn't be here end up murdering the children of American citizens.
You know what's horrible?
What's horrible
when the president of the United States whips up people to beat the hell out of people.
No.
Say goodbye.
You think Disney is the radical left?
Well, I'm talking about.
No, but do you think Disney's radical left?
That this is the nation that can become more perfect. And what I am concerned about
fixing the structures and the systemic racism that is embedded in
the fact of the matter is that we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree on the definition of system.
Go up and tell him.
Yeah.
Go tell him.
Tell him from the mountain.
We have to go to commercial. We'll come back. You're going to stick around. You'll stick around.
But what if I told you the real drama happens off camera? Former co-hosts are now pulling back the curtain, revealing the toxic culture and manipulation that drives the show's most controversial moments. From behind-the-scenes power plays to shocking producer tactics, today we uncover what really happens when the cameras stop rolling. Stick around. This is the side of The View you were never meant to see. Let's start with Candace Cameron Bure, who famously held the role of The View's token conservative for 2 years. In a recent interview, Candace admitted that she initially tried to turn down the job multiple times. "I didn't want to talk about politics," she revealed. "I wasn't comfortable with it." So, why did she eventually say yes? Simple. The producers wouldn't take no for an answer. They kept upping the offer. Candace said, "We'll fly you to New York. We'll pay for everything. It won't be political. We're shifting to pop culture." But as soon as she joined, it became clear. The View had no intention of avoiding politics. Candace wasn't just a co-host. She was the show's designated conservative punching bag.
If I'm not wrong, because I don't know too much about The View, but I've seen definitely like some controversial clips online or on YouTube. Yeah. That's a primarily liberal audience.
Oh yeah, it is. That whole show started and it's called The View because it's supposed to be 5 different viewpoints.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much one viewpoint.
That's what I picked up.
Yeah, there's usually like one token conservative. So I was that conservative for 2 years on this show.
But going into it, you knew that you were going to be that kind of token target.
Yeah. Despite marketing itself as a space for diverse viewpoints, The View often functions more like an echo chamber. There's no real dialogue, Candace explained. The moment you challenge the consensus, you're interrupted, shouted down, or dismissed with an eye roll. It's no wonder so many conservative co-hosts have walked away, citing the show's hostile environment. Even Candace admitted, "I didn't like arguing. I just wanted to share my perspective and listen to theirs." But the producers insisted, "You have to push back." Back in 2015, The View was struggling with declining ratings. But then something changed. Donald Trump announced his presidential campaign. Sensing an opportunity, the producers pivoted. They transformed the show into a platform for heated political debates, with Trump as their primary target. And it worked. The outrage brought in eyeballs, and the ratings started to climb. But there was a catch. To sustain the drama, they needed a conservative co-host to serve as a lightning rod. That's where Candace, and so many others before her, came in. Being a co-host on The View isn't just emotionally taxing. It's intellectually demanding. Candace revealed that she would receive a packet of up to 80 topics every night, all tied to current events. "I spent hours researching," she said. "By the time I went live, it felt like I'd crammed for an exam." Despite all this preparation, meaningful discussions rarely happened. Instead, the show relied on emotional appeals and shallow commentary to stir reactions.
So what made you accept that job?
Allie, I tried to turn that job down.
Are you serious?
Multiple times.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I know they talk so much politics on the show, and I'm not comfortable with that, so no. And then they came back and they were like, "We're actually switching it. It's going to be more pop culture, more evergreen topics. We're not really going to talk about politics that much." And it was like, okay. And then I was like, well, I live in LA and I'm not moving to New York, so no. And they said, We'll fly you back and forth every week. We'll pay for the tickets every week.
The biggest open door.
They just kept upping the ante. Like everything I tried to say no to, they had a solution for it. That's when I eventually was like, okay, let's try this. And I said yes. And it was so scary to say yes. And it was a really hard show to do. But I'm really grateful that I did it. It grew me a lot.
I didn't like the rebuttal. I didn't like to have to argue back, because I just wanted to share my point of view and then listen to yours and listen to yours and listen to yours. And they were like, no, but you got to keep getting in. You got to keep, if someone doesn't agree with you, you got to go back. And I was like, but I don't like to argue. I just want to share. I want to share, present my opinion, and then leave it alone and take it for what it's worth. Throw it out, take it, or whatever. But I don't want to argue with you. That wasn't my style. So that part was difficult for me.
Here's the ironic part. The View wasn't always supposed to be political. Original co-host Debbie Matenopoulos once said, "The show was meant to be like your family sitting around the table, sharing different perspectives. But over the years, that vision has been replaced by theatrics, partisan attacks, and viral moments designed to spark outrage. For all its flaws, and there are many, The View does serve one important purpose. It gets people talking about politics. In a world where many people tune out the news entirely, The View makes political conversations accessible."
So it was really challenging, but I did as much prep work as I could. I felt like I was in college or in high school or whatever. Yeah. So when I knew the decided on topics, and politics is not my strong suit, or at least it wasn't then. I know a whole lot more about politics now, but I was really learning politics while I was doing that show, because we just weren't a family that ever talked about politics at home. So I had a couple of very faithful friends in my life that committed to that 1 hour in the morning of my prep time, because that's about what you get.
But here's the catch. Are those viewers walking away informed or misinformed? That's the question we're left to ponder. So, what do you think? Is The View a platform for healthy debate? Or has it devolved into a toxic environment fueled by drama? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.